Okay, hello, hello. This is the Lifewave workshop for massage therapists. I am Melinda Liu, and if for some reason you don't know who I am a massage success coach for massage therapists. I help massage therapists reach their goals in their private practices. I teach the four pillars of success: mindset, technique, self-care, and business. I just mentioned I've been a massage therapist for 23 years and a massage success coach since 2016, so 10 years. And one of the things that I'm always trying to help massage therapists do is save their hands, help their clients get better results, earn more, just in general. And this particular workshop is going to be about adding another revenue stream. And that is something that I will say in my massage career, I wish I had started sooner. I have a lot of regret that I had this limited thinking that I could only sell massage therapy to my clients and that I would feel salesy or weird if I tried to offer them anything else, which doesn't make any sense because they trusted me. They respected my opinion about multiple things. They were already asking me for all kinds of recommendations. So it's already naturally happening with massage therapists when they're working with clients. Their clients want to know, how does my body feel? What do you think? How often should I come in? Is there any other thing I should do? What practitioner should I see? What product should I take? So it's very natural to come up in conversation with your clients about any health and wellness thing that can help them. And like I said, I have so much regret because I could have built another revenue stream. And then, especially when I moved from Connecticut to Tennessee, I could have had some recurring residual income from my Connecticut massage clientele when I moved to Tennessee and started my life all over again, because sometimes you have to start your life all over again. And so from then on, and especially 2020, I would say after the lockdown, was this feeling of I can't just be earning with my hands on people. I've got to start thinking of ways that I can be earning online, a monthly residual income. And that's when I got really serious after 2020 about diversifying my income and my revenue streams. So I'm really passionate about the subject. I know that massage therapists joining today want to hear all about what is LifeWave, how can it help our clients and ourselves? How does it work? And how could we add this to our practice? How can this be an additional revenue stream that does add to your bottom line? And so we're going to cover all of that. I'm really happy that Michelle and Renita and Sherry are here today. We've got some really highly knowledgeable people going to be sharing all of this information with us. So feel free to just enjoy the presentation, and we're going to leave some time for Q&A at the end. If you have a question come up and you don't want to forget it, you can throw it in the chat. And so we'll just come back to it at the end of the presentation. But I'm going to go ahead and just hand it off to Michelle, and then Michelle can introduce Renita, and we'll get going. Take it away, Michelle.
Oh, it's hitting the wrong audio mute button. I'm Michelle Bender. I'm in Franklin, Tennessee, and I was hosting an event, and Melinda came to it. So, I'm not a massage therapist. I am an occupational therapist, so I do understand the body some. Not as good as you guys. I do have some John Barnes experience, so I love myofascial. Um, so I like to get massages, but I do see a good potential for you guys. So I'm glad that you all came online tonight to learn a little bit more. I've been using it personally for 3 years. Um, and I know, you guys probably see a lot of people who are in pain. Um, I can tell you just one quick testimonial for my husband. He probably has eight vertebra that are not optimal. So he was in chronic pain before all of this, and I was telling Melinda, he was on taking Advil probably 5 to 7 times a week, which is just absolutely horrible. He switched over to Lifewave and doesn't really use ibuprofen anymore. Maybe once a month. So that's been a just one major thing that's been life changing for us, amongst a lot of other things we might discuss later if we have time. So I'm going to pass it over to Renita, who's going to be giving a great PowerPoint, and she's just such a wealth of knowledge. It'll be great to hear from her.
Yes, let me give her permission to share her PowerPoint. Okay, you should be good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Melinda. Thanks, Michelle. I appreciate you. I see that beautiful Sherry's on here too. Thanks for having me on. I'm honored to be alongside you gals on this journey of light therapy, introducing the world to take back their power with light. Just like you said, Melinda, it's a great adjunct to all things massage therapy related, I feel, because they're, in the trenches with these people, generally coming not just for relaxation, but also for pain,
Mhm.
right? So we've got some great solutions with that, with our patch technology. And so I really do want it to be somewhat interactive, Melinda. So if people do have questions, type them in the chat. We want to get to them right away. We want everyone's questions answered. Sherry, is there anything you want to share, beautiful? I'm looking at that beautiful face over there.
Well, thank you. And I'm really excited to talk about how this can be another incredible way for people to increase their earnings. Another stream of income is incredibly important, and that is my passion, trying to help people understand why diversification is key in this world. Certainly today, when all of us are now wondering what the heck is AI going to do? Not going to at this point replace your hands, thank God, goodness. But it's going to really be shaking things up in the marketplace. And so anything that we can do to add a little bit more diversification, I think is fantastic. And the reason I'm here is because it literally has changed my life. Our health has been so greatly impacted by it. And once you've had an opportunity to learn about the technology, I think you'll also understand why you're not going to be able to stay silent about this. You're going to want to share it with everybody who comes through the door because they deserve to know about this. So back to you, Renita.
Love it. I agree. It's too great not to share, right? As soon as you understand the technology, you understand what the possibility is for yourself. Even you yourselves as massage therapists using this technology because you guys are hard on your bodies. You work a lot. You like Melinda said, she's trying to help preserve the hands, right? And so if there's a way that we can actually help just even the massage therapists to live their best and feel their best, of course, that's first and foremost, because if not, they're not massaging, right? And then, of course, sharing as an adjunct, not only therapy for their clients, but also as, like you said, an additional revenue stream, Sherry. It's so important that we have multiple streams of income, especially in the service world. I think it's so important because people in the service world work so hard, right? So if there's ways that we can increase their income, and again, like you said, it doesn't replace their hands. It's not replacing the hands. So people are still going to love that human touch and those massages, but it's just a great therapy to really get people's bodies activated with light. So let's get into it. And again, if you guys have questions or comments on the journey, please put them in the chat. Let me see if I can share here. I think Melinda gave me the power for a second. Let's go. I'll give it back to you in a minute, girl. All right. So yeah, a little bit about myself. I'm Renita Brandon. I'm from Bismarck, North Dakota, but I'm actually down in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida right now. We bought a beach house. Praise the Lord. It's been a dream come true for us financially. But I got started 3.5, nearly 4 years ago now because of my aging parents. I'm a clinical exercise specialist by trade. I have over 25 health and fitness certifications, everything from Pilates to kickboxing to yoga and everything in between. I was on NBC. I was the NBC health and fitness expert for 8.5 years. I was on TV. I had my own segment on television up in North Dakota. So also a co-host on the morning show up there. So I had the pleasure of pretty much educating the the state of North and South Dakota about natural healing. My doctor's my chiropractor, so I really my forte is natural health for sure, no question. I have a respect for modern medicine, but I think it's really for crisis care. I think that we have so many amazing modalities that we can do naturally, like massage, like phototherapy patches, to really take back our power with our health. And now I love the marketplace because it's shifting like right before our eyes. We're at the best place at the best time with the best people. I mean, I love RFK Jr. coming in and saying, hey, guess what? We're going to make your gym equipment tax deductible. Praise the Lord, right? And so finally, all of this is aligning right now. So we got started because of my mom was diagnosed with Parkinson's 11 years ago. And so a friend of mine out of Canada who was a nurse, very much an energy nurse, but she had left traditional nursing in Canada because, of course, it got quite crazy up there. And she was really into holistic and alternative modalities. And she called me up one day and she said, you got to try this patch. She said, my neighbor lady with Parkinson's had downright miracles. And I know your mom has Parkinson's. And I said, well, Doris, you had me at miracle, girl. I'm in. And I said, what's it all about? She goes, well, I'm just going to send you a few of them. They arrived in a baggie, a little Ziploc bag. I didn't know that they were Lifewave. I didn't know that they were activating stem cells with my mom's light. I didn't know anything about it other than I trusted Doris. So, hey, all of you who got on here tonight, thanks for trusting Melinda. Because I think she was the person who invited all of you great souls on here. So thanks so much for trusting her on this journey that you guys are all on together. So that's how it began. On the 11th day, my mom was walking without her walker. Her penmanship came back. Her voice came back. I just got this wild picture of my mom. She's got like 5 patches on her upper cervical vertebrae today. And they're like, and then one of her friends that goes along with her out to eat and everything, she goes, is this normal? I said, well, she probably has X39, X49 carnosine. Maybe she had some upper back pain and she threw on some ice wave. So my mom literally uses the technology like some people would use ibuprofen, as Michelle had mentioned, right? So it's a beautiful solution to mitigate the pain, to bring the body back to homeostasis, to really help the body to begin to heal with stem cells. So we're going to talk all about that. My mom was my first miracle we saw. She's doing awesome. She's a rock star. She has, by the way, no more tremor. Very shortly after that, the tremor went away. My mom has had not a tremor for 3.5 years. And again, I'm not making a medical claim. I'm not saying it's going to treat everyone's Parkinson's. Everybody has a different response to the technology, but that was my mom's. And it was pretty impressive. Her penmanship came back. If you guys know anything about Parkinson's, they lose the ability to write. They lose the ability to speak. We had taken away knives. My mom owned a restaurant for 25 years in Center, North Dakota. And we had taken away knives from her because she was so unstable with them. And that morning, when my mom was walking through the kitchen on the 11th day after patching, offering to make me breakfast, and I saw her go to the kitchen and peel an onion and start dicing and slicing it, I just was pretty much amazed because we had not seen her do that in 2.5 years. And so my dad had been the cook. My dad, 80 years young, was our second patch miracle we saw. He was sitting at the kitchen table that morning. I said, Dad, I think we should try a patch on you. He said, I thought it was for your mother's Parkinson's. I said, I don't know what it's for. I said, I can't even believe my eyes. Mom is doing so well this morning. She's walking, she's talking, she's dicing onions. I said, what is going on? And my dad said, let's try it. So we threw it on my dad, and dad had actually been dealing with an oozing leg condition, very edemic, very out of control, very angry legs. And we put a patch on him. And my dad was a one patch wonder, you guys. Overnight, we came back the next morning. The oozing after 6 months had dried up overnight. So, I mean, he wasn't winning any like sexy legs contests or anything, but the oozing had stopped. Thank you, Jesus. And the edema all had gone. And he was basically had those little tiny chicken legs back. And my 80-year-old father opened the front door the next morning. He said, it looks like that little sticker thing you gave me worked. Where do I get some more stickers? You got to be kidding. We've gone to Mayo Clinic with you, And so here this sticker works. So that's kind of how we started there. But I want you to know it's not just for old sick people. Our boys are tremendous athletes. We all wear the patch. The biggest question of the hour is, have you been patched yet? So thanks, Melinda. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Sherry, for lining this up, because we think this technology is for everyone. And when you put it on, it will change your life, like Sherry said. Now, you may or may not know about red light. I always assume that massage therapists know more about red light than the average cats, just because you're into health, right? Actual health and healing of the body. But it was really interesting. Stanford Medicine came out February 24th, and they actually wrote this little article, and they said red light therapy uses specific wavelengths of red and near infrared light to interact with the skin and biological tissues through a process called photobiomodulation. So photobiomodulation, you guys, is a fancy word for light therapy. So, you'll read some of the clinical studies with Lifewave. There's over 100 clinical studies and there's over 200 patents. And many times the word photobiomodulation will be used. That word, again, just means light therapy. Okay. It's like when you go out in the sun's activating vitamin D, helps to stabilize and levelize those hormones. That's photobiomodulation. All right. So this type of light can penetrate layers of skin, support your cellular activity. Research shows it may help stimulate hair growth while supporting skin rejuvenation by increasing your collagen production and improving circulation. Those two things are really important with the aging process. Would you guys agree? We want to have good collagen production because it's not a beauty product like it's marketed as such sometimes. It literally makes up every artery, every vein. Many of our organ systems are made of collagen, right? So we want to have good collagen production with the aging process. And then also great circulation. That's so important with the aging process that we have incredible circulation. So studies are suggesting that red light therapy can energize our cells and trigger biological responses. So what's happening with this patch is when you put it on, it actually triggers a biological reaction in the body. So unlike a pill or an injection that you have to ingest or inject, we're simply placing this patch on top of our skin, and it's simply reflecting our own infrared light that we're all emitting back into the body. And it's when it reflects it back into the body, it brings in a specific spectrum of light. With X39, it's activating a peptide called GHKCU. And if you're in the healthcare industry, peptides are kind of a big buzzword right now. There's like over 7,000 peptides. It's just strings and chains of amino acids linked together. And the beautiful thing about GHKCU is typically it does have to be injected. It has to come in through the skin. But our founder, David Schmidt, found a way to activate the GHK copper peptide with a frequency of light. And again, this technology is not new. The company's 21 years old. So it's not like, oh, this is some like startup and we hope this thing works. We've got over 101 clinical studies and over 200 patents. So I just want to touch briefly on light because you may or may not know a lot about phototherapy, but it is literally cutting edge. It is literally, let me just try to mute Jeff there. But it's cutting edge in the world of weight loss. Light is the medicine of the future, they're calling it. Health and light. We know that blue light is affecting people's bodies if they're watching their phones at night. It's disrupting the circadian rhythms. People are ending up with cancers and crazy stuff. So we know that light is crucial to our healing journey. Another great body called the Body Electric. If you've not read it as a massage therapist, you'd absolutely love it. Just talks about that our body needs light. It also needs minerals, right? And so these are crucial elements for the healing of our body. When I tell people that their bodies are electric, they're like, what? That they think it's almost like weird, right? And I'm like, well, listen, if you had a heart attack in the middle of town square, they're going to come and they're going to put the jumper cables on you, right? Before they give you the nitro. And so the point is when they put those jumper cables on you, they're giving you a shot of electricity. And that's to bring that heart rhythm back to normalcy, right, guys? And so the point being is that our bodies are very electrical in nature. And we've not really talked about light or electricity very much in the realm of health and healing. Probably my favorite book of all time in the world of light and healing and voltage. We actually homeschool our boys, and this is something that we absolutely is like a reading curriculum, is Healing is Voltage. And it just really talks about that when you don't have the correct voltage or the right light or the right stimulus of light frequency, the body has a hard time healing. Okay, that's pretty much what the book says in a nutshell. On to Lifewave. So all of our products are free from drugs, chemicals, and stimulants. So it's a beautiful alignment with massage therapists because they have a tendency to be more holistic in nature, right? Lifewave does not claim to treat cure or prevent disease. I told you about my situation, my family members. Again, everyone's experience with the patch is different. And that's because it's activating that peptide, which activates stem cells. And stem cells will go to the area of greatest need in each individual's body. So it'll be a different result for me. It'll be a different result for Melinda. All of us will have a different result when we put this patch on, right? And so I do want you to know it's considered an FDA wellness device. We are not a drug like a class 1, 2, or 3 drug. Thank God, by the way. We are considered an FDA wellness device. So we just have to talk in general claims when we discuss it on social media to protect the company. I will show you my husband, Scott. He was a pain monster most of the last 20 years of our marriage, and he got heavier and heavier. He has lost now 95 pounds in the last 3.5 years since joining Lifewave. This is actually fairly, right after we had joined, I think that we went over to that trip. And so that was him then, 95 pounds heavier. This is him down in Scottsdale not too long ago. But the point is it's not that the patch was a weight loss miracle for Scott. He was just full of chronic inflammation, and he had 7 knee surgeries from high school and college athletics, which many people do. And he was just really struggling, and as soon as we put that patch on, it was literally like his body said, time to heal. And a lot of that inflammation settled down within a short period of time. His range of motion came back in his knee. He felt like exercising again because he wasn't walking around like a zombie. Now he's off of his CPAP. He had that CPAP machine for probably 12 years. He no longer uses the CPAP for the last probably 7 months. So it's really changed our entire life. But your mitochondria run on light before food. And most people don't realize that. Light sets your metabolic rhythm. So, in this journey of weight loss that so many Americans are on, they say that 1/3 of our children have fatty liver disease, right, guys? Nearly 80% of the population is overweight or obese, which is a crazy statistic in our country. Are you kidding? But it's really because our light has been wrong for a long time. Right? They told people to stay inside, get out of the sun, then they handed us blue light in our hands. And so a lot of people have had metabolic dysfunction. And again, I'm really into just reducing the overall inflammation of the body and then increasing the mitochondria to do their job effectively. And when you do that, many amazing things happen in the realm of healing. So a little bit about the founder, David Schmidt. Amazing human, innovative, brilliant, humble, loves God, a man of prayer and faith, but just very, very generous and giving. He literally started the company 21 years ago with the Navy SEALs. So that's where the technology in the company started, is with the Navy SEALs 21 years ago. It was incredible what happened. The Navy SEALs were using the technology instead of using amphetamines, because that's what they were using and having heart problems. They started using phototherapy with our light therapy patches during Hell Week, and they had remarkable results, sustained energy, amazing focus, right? Amazing vitality. And from there, it was used by the Stanford Olympic women's swim team. They weren't doing so well in qualification for the Olympics that year. David Schmidt came in, he patched all those female athletes, those female swimmers down at Stanford. And wouldn't you know it, within 3 weeks, 6 had literally broke their PRs in practice and 4 had qualified for the United States Olympic swim team. So that's where the technology started, was like for performance. It wasn't like for old, half-dead, sick people. It was like for the high performers, right? And then he was actually approached by GNC, which I'm sure you guys have heard of that, to really sell the patches at a GNC, like globally, And David realized in that meeting that there is a story behind this technology. You cannot just put it on a shelf and hope people buy it. Right? How is that 19-year-old clerk at GNC going to understand the technology that we have our hands on, right? So he realized in a hurry it had to be sold through the distribution model of network marketing and direct sales, which is a win for all of us here today. Because if we wouldn't have that, we wouldn't be on the Zoom talking about how it's an opportunity for you, right? So it's very exciting to know that this is the distribution model that David chose 21 years ago. What happened was in 2008, he decided to focus all of his attention on stem cells. And if you guys know something about stem cells, put it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you know about stem cells. I'm always so inquisitive with when I talk to different people about like, what do you know about them? What have you heard? Have you had them yourself? Right? I love the feedback. Truth be told, we thought about taking mom to Tijuana for the Parkinson's. They wanted $10,000. There was no guarantees. There certainly wasn't a money back guarantee. Our patch technology actually has a 90-day money back guarantee for customers. So if we went to Tijuana with mom for a $10,000 stem cell injection, there was no money back guarantee. If it didn't work, it didn't work. And then we would have to come back for multiple visits. So very quickly, when I realized, wow, mom had this result in 11 days of patching. My dad had it overnight. What's in this technology? How did it do so fast for two drastically different conditions? One's neurological, one's skin related, right? And then I realized it was activating the GHK copper peptide. And I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna take a break for a second. I did not know what the GHK copper peptide was. Do you guys know what that peptide is? Have you heard of it? GHKCU. It's a peptide. A lot of people are injecting it because it has to come through the skin. So it either has to come through an injection or it can come through light because of our phototherapy technology, right? But what happened is, when I looked at this 3.5 years ago, I had never heard of GHK copper peptides. Like peptides were just very fresh in the marketplace. And so I simply Googled it. I Googled GHKCU when I found out that's what was being activated. And that's what helped my mom and my dad, right? That's why they were such different conditions, but both of them had reprieve. So I was thinking, wow, what did that? Well, what did that was it was activating the GHKCU peptide in both of their bodies. So very quickly, I went to the web and I just Googled GHKCU. I was like, what is this? I don't really know that much about this copper peptide. I've never studied a whole lot of peptides. I've been, a kingpin and amino acids and of course, protein and things like that. Being a personal trainer and a clinical exercise specialist, I want to maintain the muscle. But again, peptides were kind of brand new. And so this is what came up. The very first time it said it was the holy grail of anti-aging. That's what came up. GHK-Cu peptide is the holy grail of anti-aging. And I was like, wow, that's a bold statement. The holy grail of anti-aging. I actually looked at my husband and I said, we're going to be rich. I mean, because everybody wants anti-aging, right? And so, but when I found this on PubMed, there's lots of studies on GHKCU, but this is the guy who discovered the copper peptide 52 years ago. His name is Dr. Lauren Picard, and this guy's incredible. But he actually, this is the National Institute of Health. If you go to PubMed.gov, you guys can read the same study. And it says the human peptide GHK has multiple biological actions, all of which, according to our knowledge, appear to be health positive. So when people say, is there any downside to it? No, it appears to be health positive. It stimulates blood vessel and nerve outgrowth. Just think of people in your life right now that could benefit from stimulating blood vessel and nerve outgrowth. Okay. Do you know anybody with neuropathy? Do you know anybody with nerve damage? Right. How about anybody that needs to increase their collagen? Again, collagen is your blood vessels, it's your arteries, it's your veins, right? How about increasing elastin? How about supporting your function of your dermal fibroblasts, like the things that create your skin, right? So GHK has the ability to improve tissue repair. It has also been demonstrated, you guys, for skin, for lung connective tissue. How many people do you know that have had a lung issue? In the last 7 years? A lot of people, right? Bony tissue, liver. My goodness gracious, come on. Stomach lining. That's a big deal. So GHK has been found to possess powerful cell protective actions, such as multiple anti-cancer activities, anti-inflammatory actions, lung protection, and restoration of COPD fibroblasts. So we actually have 4 people on our Lifewave team that are completely off of their oxygen tanks. So praise the Lord. That's a real life testimony. 4 different people that never knew each other from all different states in the country are now not dragging around oxygen. So it's pretty cool. And in addition, right there, anti-pain, anti-aggression, DNA repair, helps to the activation of cell cleansing. So it helps people that have a hard time detoxing. I actually think that was my dad's problem. It was like he was caught in this detox cycle. And that's why the legs would not stop dripping. The body was continually trying to detox itself, right? And then all of a sudden, one day, he puts the patch on, boom. The body says, boom, enough of that detox, we're out of here, right? It literally kind of just helped them roll through that faster. So I still to this day really believe that's what we witnessed with my own father, was that just that upregulation of the detox mechanism. And some people honestly get caught in that for a long time. It's like the person who gets sick and stays sick for a long time. They need to kind of roll through that. Right. And so by putting the patch on, it seems to help upregulate those genes that help with detoxification more efficiently. Again, we can't make medical claims because it's a general wellness product, right? So we have to be very generic in what we see. But the bottom line is we want to know what happens to you. I'm going to show one more thing and I'll get back to that little flip chart and then we'll go to some questions. But the National Library of Medicine, did that switch over? Can you guys see the wearable phototherapy apparatus? Did it switch? Okay. So this is at, the National Institute of Health as well. So I go to pubmed.gov. I look up a lot of clinical studies. I love the research and the stories. We've got thousands, tens of thousands of stories at this point in the last nearly 4 years of being in this business. But I love the science. I love the science coupled with the stories. So facts tell, stories sell. People love to hear what it's going to do for them. And so when you start wearing the patch technology, don't feel like you need to become a Chinese medicine doctor or an acupuncturist or something, an expert in phototherapy. Just share what it's doing for you. You are already a point of interest and a point of belief for many people that are coming to you. They want your advice. You're already helping them with massage and pain reduction or whatever it may be. They want your suggestions, actually. You're the authority. Okay, I want to say that. It's a big deal because I trust my massage therapist. If she tells me I should do this, I generally do it, right? And so increase your conviction in the patch technology yourself so that it's easy for you to share and talk about because it will really honestly bless all of your clients. There's no question. But David Schmidt, our founder, he's got over 201 patents, over 101 clinical studies. But check this out. That's the National Institute of Health. Look what it says about our patch. Embodiments enable a wearable phototherapy apparatus. So the patch, they're calling it on here, is a wearable phototherapy, light therapy apparatus that produces beneficial effects to a human body, such as activation of stem cells, improvements in strength, improvements in stamina, and pain relief via a non-transdermal container, which means nothing's leaching into your skin. Praise the Lord. Okay. It says the non-transdermal apparatus reflects or emits specific wavelengths of light to elevate levels of copper peptide, GHKCU, in the body. Now, you all just know what that does because I just showed you, right, what it does. It's so cool. So anyway, the bottom line is this is our technology. And this is just one thing I'm showing you just to kind of get your eyes on the prize and to increase your own belief about what you have your hands on. It's a big deal. Okay. A lot of people are praying for what we have. It's an easy technology to administer. You take off the back of the sticker and you put it on. We've got 97-year-olds wearing it. We've got 2-year-olds wearing it, right? So it's literally for everybody and their dog and their horses. We've got 5-time rodeo champions, world-renowned, literally Billy Etbauer. He's a 5-time world champion saddle bronc rider, and he patches himself and the horses, right? Because animals don't lie and they love phototherapy. Their bodies react so well to phototherapy. So let me get back to the presentation here, and then we're almost done, and you guys can ask away at the question. So I explained enough about David Schmidt. He's amazing. And by the way, he has a live presentation the first Wednesday of every month, which is in a couple days here at 1 p.m. If you have access or time to listen to that, it's aired at 1 and then it's a repeat again at 8. It is awesome. The guy is a massive, genuine, heartfelt educator. He's brilliant. I mean, I have one patent and it was like an act of God to get. I'm not going to lie. It was so hard. And this guy's got over 201. And by the end of 2026, he has said he will have nearly 300 patents in regenerative medicine. So that's what we have our hands on, guys. So again, you saw that the phototherapy patch is activating our stem cells. This is why it worked for mom. This is why it worked for dad. We're only as strong as the stem cell activity in our body. After the age of 20, our stem cells are declining. Chronic inflammation in the body will deplete your stem cells. They literally act like a Pac-Man on our stem cells when you have chronic inflammation going on. Chronic means anything over 3 months. But science now proves that by age 30, if you're 30 on here, you've already got a 60% reduction of stem cell activity. And I'm just like, mayday, mayday, that's like a big drop, right? And then by age 50, I'm nearly 50. And that means I would have typically had a 75% reduction of stem cell activity. And my poor old dad with those legs, 95% reduction by age 80. These guys don't have a fighting chance, right? That's why the chronic inflammation, the aging process is really against them. So when you patch an old person, you're probably going to have a great result. I will tell you this. I recently had a biological age test done. I came back at 32. So I'm 17 younger than I actually am. They did blood, urine, stool, saliva, heart rate variability. They hooked all these electrodes to me. And they said, it was bigger than that. My doctor was amazed. She said, you're 32. She said, but Renita, she said, on all of your organ systems, because they have this organ system where they show like brain, kidneys, liver, heart. She said, everybody comes back at a color typically. And that's kind of like green is great. Yellow is like, you got to start working on this. And then red is like, mayday, mayday, like you got a problem. Houston, we have a problem. And so I came back on every single organ system green. I didn't have a single yellow or a single red. And my doctor was like, this is unbelievable. I never see anybody in their late 40s that have organ functioning like this, Renita. Well, then she did my husband, Scott. He's 51. He came back as a 41 biological age, so 10 years younger. I told him he better get in the game to get in his 30s like I am. But Scotty the hottie, we call him, because he's down 95 pounds now. He said if he would have taken that test when he first started, because he was 95 pounds heavier, he probably would have measured at like 85 years old. Thank God for the patch. But anyway, Scott came back at 41, and bigger than that, again, every single one of his organs came back at green. He didn't have a single yellow and he didn't have a single red. And our doctor that day signed up for the patches. She said, I cannot believe my eyes. I've never seen people in their 40s and 50s that are coming back with green organ functioning of every single organ system. Scott or myself did not have a yellow. And she was like, I've never seen this. And so, I said, gosh, I wish I could have done this before I started the patch, nearly 4 years ago. But so stem cells are the fountain of youth in the body. And as we age, we experience inflammation, right? Our body is naturally producing less and less of these stem cells. But there's good news. Studies show the combination of that X39 patch, and Melinda can make sure that you get started with that one, because that's like the kingpin of all of Lifewave is X39. There's also a great, amazing actually, it's called Cellergize. It's an electrolyte supplement. I love that with a pinch of salt. It's amazing with all multi-mineral. It's got amazing potassium in it, but people have really great results when they're well hydrated and they patch. If they're dehydrated and they patch, they still have results. It just takes longer. Okay, so we want people to have fast results so they're feeling amazing quick. Again, we're patented, so nobody can duplicate what we have. You cannot go buy this down at like CVS or someplace. You've got to sign up to be a wholesale member with Melinda so that you can have your own website, and that way you can share it with your clients and patients. So how X39 works, it's a proprietary form of phototherapy. People ask what's in the patch. I'll tell you what's in the patch. The truth is, it doesn't matter that much because it's not transdermal. It's not leaching into the body, but it is water, salt, sugar, amino acids, oxygen. That's what's in the patch. So it really forms almost like a lattice inside the patch. Okay. It's a polymer. I'm going to take the patch off the back of my neck so you can see it. It's a polymer, little kind of a plastic thing. There is nothing leaching from the patch into the body. It does not have any latex in it. So if you talk to somebody that has latex allergy, no problem. There's no latex in it. So I put it on the back of my neck or under my belly button. Some people, if you're sweaty a lot, like if you go to a Pilates class or something, you can actually take the patch and put it on the inside of your clothing, just like that, or the inside of your sports bra. Works exactly the same way with the sticky part on the clothes. Doesn't have to be actually on the body. It can be placed anywhere. X39 is systemic, which means it will go to the greatest area of need in your body. Okay, non-invasive, easy to use. And again, here's kind of our general things that happen in the body. I can tell you with me, on the fourth night, I slept through the night. That was the first time in 9 months that I was sleeping through the night, which is a big fat deal if you're not sleeping. And then the day after that, I actually slept until 8:30 a.m. I had been waking up at 2 a.m. for 9 consecutive months. I was like, is this hormones? Is this menopause? I still get my period. What's going on here? Long story short, my periods are awesome, normal. My skin looks amazing. My liver, I had a huge quarter-sized liver spot in my cheek, completely gone after 6 weeks of patching. In fact, my husband said that spot you had on your face is gone. He goes, that was an inside job because I had gone to my esthetician friends and they shaved it off and it would come back all the time. And then after 6 weeks of patching, he's like, Renita, that big spot that was like the size of like a dime on your face is gone. And I'm like, okay, funny. Not funny, funny, but not funny. So increased stamina. Another thing that happened to me is 6 weeks after patching, I had a 25-year-old kickboxing injury. I used to certify instructors to teach all modalities of fitness and tore my hamstring slightly when I was out in San Diego teaching kickboxing. Never had it repaired, and it always bothered me when I walked uphill, sprinted, or lift heavy, or put my foot on the gas pedal in Bismarck, North Dakota on my drive to Fargo, North Dakota. Like that little bit of tension on that dang hamstring would just bite. And my husband would always end up driving. And here it was, we were on the patch for about 6 weeks. I drove my dad down to Mayo Clinic and back because his legs were so much better, right? The doctor couldn't believe it. And back. And when I got 20 miles out of Bismarck where we live, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I just drove 18 hours and I don't feel my hamstring. And I thought, oh, maybe it's a fluke. I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow. I'm going to sprint at 13 miles an hour. I did it. Nothing hurt the next day. It was like, not like typically it would be like, I'd be out of commission for like 15 days because it would just bite and it would just aggravate it. And I said to my husband, that was like a 24-year-old injury. And I wasn't even expecting that to, that wasn't on my radar. That wasn't on my like Christmas list type deal. And so when that happened, it was a total blessing. And I was like, wow, that was like an old time thing that it just totally took care of. Haven't felt it since. So again, X39 long-term results, the longer you wear it, the better you're going to look and feel. I mean, I'm looking at Sherry Ellingson. She's beautiful. She looks younger than 4 years ago. True story, Sherry. You're so gorgeous. I mean, she's so athletic. She's so limber as a fox. She's so strong as a horse. And she's just gorgeous. Her skin has gotten better. So people generally, their hair gets better, their nails get better. It's quite remarkable what happens. So you wear it 12 hours on, you take it off for 12 hours, start wearing it during daytime hours because generally you're better hydrated during the day. If you put it on, you start wearing it at night, you're not drinking water. I don't want you to be dehydrated wearing the patch, right? So start during daytime hours and then make sure you're well hydrated with the electrolytes, I would say. And this is just for your knowledge. Our body functions on a sodium potassium pump, our heart does. So you really need those electrolytes. They're like the first line of healing, right? I always say electrolyte, kind of gives it away. So when you have the electrolytes and the patch, you're going to really see a great result quickly. Again, there's a great product that David Schmidt formulated specifically to work with the patch technology. It's called the Celergized Morning, and there's also an evening, but this is amazing for electrolyte balance. It helps with detoxification and recovery, just that overall energy production and ATP production, right? So I love it. It tastes amazing. So that's something to consider to put in the cart as well with your X39 patch. This is a website you can go to learn more. It's called thisisinfo.com. That has dozens of videos. So if you're on here saying, I need more information, great. So did I. Thisisinfo.com. Write it down right now. Jot it down so you've got it. But when you go there, you can watch 2 videos, you can watch 20 videos. We've got entire doctors panels. We've got chiropractors, MDs. We've got naturopaths. We've got David Schmidt, the founder, talking about the technology. We've got 2-minute videos. You've got 1-minute videos. You've got 8-minute videos. So you've got kind of everything you need to understand the technology better. A nice thing about thisisinfo.com is you can send people there and they cannot buy there. It's simply an educational resource. So if you don't have much time with them because you're going to massage, you can say, hey, listen, check out this website, watch the first 2 videos. I'm going to reach out to you when I'm done tonight, right? We're going to talk more about this, but watch these videos. They're going to give you a little bit of education about what this Lifewave is doing for people. It's amazing, right? And so that's an easy duplicatable tool so that you guys don't have to quit what you're doing. You can keep massaging for a bit, right? When the money from Lifewave surpasses what you're earning in massage, then you have some options, right? So I will tell you that we do have massage therapists, and I'm not making income claims either, but we've got massage therapists in the business right now. I'm thinking of a few of them that are making $120,000, $140,000 a year with Lifewave. So definitely something that could supplement your current lifestyle, I'm sure. So a little bit more about the business. The company's been around for 21 years. Debt-free company. We're available in 80 countries around the globe. So when you launch your business, you literally have a website that's active in 80 countries around the world. So think of your next door neighbor, but you can build globally here. Okay. We just got back from South Korea. My husband and I have a huge team in Asia Pacific. So we travel all over, but by the way, it is so much fun. Our boys do the business with us. We have 3 sons. They're 25, 19, and 17. They travel with us. They do the business with us. We have so much fun sharing and caring because we love people with this technology, but it's an amazing lifestyle. But 2022, the company you can see there went to 320 million. That's when they launched X39. That patch that activates your stem cells. So that is the hero product. 2023, as you can see, the climb is on, right? The company just keeps going. You know, we didn't quite hit the $1 billion mark last year, but they are predicting that 2026 is the first $1 billion year with Lifewave. We're #1 in momentum globally. Are you guys familiar with direct sales and network marketing? It's a huge industry, right? Young Living, doTERRA, those are some names you probably are familiar with. The industry as a whole globally does about $260 billion annually. So it's not a small marketplace. We're #1 in momentum globally. It's kind of a big deal. Our founder, David Schmidt, in 2025 was Innovator of the Year for all of direct sales globally. So a lot of these companies are falling by the wayside because they are not innovating. And David Schmidt is the king of innovation. But the Biotech Breakthrough Award, 2025, literally last year, out of tens of thousands of submissions from 15 different countries, it's like this global award that they give out that really is going to, kind of shape the future of healthcare and technology. We won #1 for Stem Cell Innovation of the Year in 2025. So I love to print that poster out, lay that in your massage studio so people can see it. They're going to start asking questions. I mean, this is an easy conversation. What do you know about stem cells? What if there was a way you could activate your own with light? It's less than a Starbucks a day. Right? I mean, these are easy conversations we're having. So what's important in your life? This is a sign-up sheet. Again, Melinda, you can show them where to get this. There's a lot of resources over at thisisitteam.com. You can print out the downloadables, and this is one of the things that people like to fill out on their way out the door. You say, hey, do you want to purchase at wholesale? You could do it a couple different ways. You could get patches. You could sell them retail. If that's something you like to do, cash and carry. If you don't want to do it that way, you could just put a patch on them and say, go to my website. There's a money back guarantee. And Truett, you want to say hi? I can't have one of my.
Hi, everybody.
This is Truett. He's my 19-year-old. He's muscle. He's been at the beach all day down in Santa Rosa, but he works the business. How much did you earn last week?
$2,600.
20. So he's 19. So he signs up all the guys at the gym. He signs up all the guys that don't want to use ibuprofen anymore. Now he joined a climbing gym. So these guys are like climbing machines down here. And so the whole climbing facility is intrigued because, of course, these guys are sore all the time and they're ripping apart their hands. And so they're like, wow, it can help my skin. I need that. And so it's really an amazing technology for everybody. You don't have to be old and sick to share it. Our kids are very much involved in our business model. There is a 30-day money back guarantee if you are a brand partner. So I'm a brand partner. Melinda's a brand partner. Michelle's a brand partner. Sherry's a brand partner. When you're a brand partner, you get your own website. I would suggest being a brand partner because then you're always buying at the wholesale price. That's really the goal. And you also have an immediate website that's linked directly to you. So when you share that website, Your clients can go right there. They can buy the product. The company is who gives the money back guarantee, by the way. You don't give it. The company gives the money back guarantee. So it's very easy to use. It's easy to share. And so we can do more about the business aspect of it later. You know, there's a lot of different mindsets in this business model. Some people say, I just want to make a little extra to pay for my patches. That's my mom. My mom makes $400 to $600 a week because she signs up her 80-year-old friends with hemorrhoids. They love the patch, right? And that's my mom. Then there's big potential. People who share it, they love it. You know, it's really an amazing secondary source of income from them, like Sherry was talking about. And then for us, it's been life transformation. I mean, our oldest son, he's 25, he earned $1.3 million last year. And I mean, and we earned a lot more than that. And I'm going to tell you that. I don't tell you that to say, look at me, I'm so cool. I'm just like you. I believe anybody can do this if they want to do it. Like, that's how I believe. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist to do it. The science is all there. You just point to the science, you point to the clinical studies, you point to the patents. You just are like the bearer of good news. So you share with them the good news of where to get it, how to use it. And people are like, I'm in. You know, it's a very easy thing. So conventional business, as most of you know, because many of you maybe own your own massage therapy studio. So it's, sometimes a high startup, high risk, long hours for some of you. Maybe your hands are getting a little tired, and you're limited. You're trading hours for dollars. If you're not working, you're probably not making money. Over here, low startup, no risk. It's a proven system. Truett has about 3 of his buddies coming down to Florida next week to stay with us. They're all in the patch business. These guys are all muscle heads. They're all at the gym together, lifting weights. They're going to the beach. They all have the patch on. They're like a patch gang. They're like a patch gang. And then everybody on the beach is like, what are these kids doing? They're also physically healthy. And so I love that the next generation is taking back their power with light. I was the mom who did not vaccinate like 20 years ago and caught hell for it. So now when I see what's happening in the world, in the marketplace with natural healing and light, I am so fired up. It's like redemption hour for me. And so I pray it is for you too. These are 2 websites. Write them down. This is it info. All the health knowledge that you need. They're not selling anything there. It's just education. And then this is it team is going to be all of the business knowledge that you need to grow your business. These are the different packages again. So the core, you can get started for as little as $295 with Melinda tonight. If you are in business and you have a studio, I would definitely suggest getting extra patches because people will say to you, can I take a sleeve with me today? And you can can sell them a sleeve right then and there, right? So I think it's important to have a little product on hand because you guys are, touching people in real life. In my world, I built my business on Zoom because I didn't have a storefront, right? And so that's a possibility as well. So either way works. I want you to start thinking of other massage therapists, other chiropractors, other occupational therapists, as Michelle was talking about, other people, other hairdressers. I always say hairdressers are underpaid counselors. Massage therapists would be that, but your mouth is pushed against that thing, so you can't talk so well. I just drool. Anyway, the point is like we want people to take back their power with natural health and healing. God designed our bodies to heal, and we're just giving it a easy switch, an on switch to activate that healing. So the time is now. And this is a duplication model, home-based, phone-based, beach-based business or massage table-based business is what I'd call it. And so we love it that it's a freedom opportunity model. And that is really it. So do you guys have questions for me? Let's see what we have in the chat.
I would like to just chat. I know X39 is like the flagship patch, but there are some other patches. I wanted a little bit of information on Aeon because Aeon is great for inflammation, right? And then
Yeah,
also the other patches that therapists would be interested in using is the Ice Wave for pain relief. Can we just touch on a little bit about Aeon and Ice Wave?
absolutely. So let me go on over here real quick. Let me see. I want to make sure that you guys can see my screen. I'm going into our Facebook group. And so if you do join the team with Melinda or Michelle or whoever invited you on here tonight, make sure that you get added to Light Warriors because this is our Facebook group. And when you click on featured, there's lots of great stuff there. Uh, there's David Schmidt talking about how we're not an FDA drug. We are a health considered a health and wellness, category of that. We also have the new Zoom card where we have Thursday night trainings, Sunday night trainings. This is all going to be at our Light Warriors Facebook group. As I scroll down, there was a great business training my husband and I did, but I'm coming down. The things I showed you tonight, the 20-minute presentation, like the flip chart, is right here. There you have it. So you guys can look at the slides from tonight. They also have the studies. Remember those two things I showed you with the GHK copper peptide and also the David Schmidt study? It's right there. It's under the featured. So you have access to everything that I'm showing you. But I'm going to scroll all the way down until you see there's going to be Canva. I created a Canva and it's kind of an easy, just kind of overview. And I'm going to go right there right now, just so that I can show you, Melinda, that they have access to this. So if they want this, they can go download this themselves. They can read it for themselves, because I know I'm kind of a fast talker. But we'd love for them to kind of get in there and learn and grow themselves. So here it is. It's right here. So I just scroll down a little bit on that featured tab. Hopefully you all can see that. And again, we've talked enough about X39. I kind of gave you the guts of X39 tonight, but Melinda's asking us to be a little bit more specific with the Eon and the Ice Wave, especially because you are massage therapists and you do deal with people that are in pain, right? So we're just really supporting our body's natural ability to heal. That's what we're doing here. Quality of life solutions, as we've talked about. This is what Lifewave phototherapy technology supports: health optimization, detoxification, longevity, the balance. So I'm going to go specifically over, and I literally on here, guys, I go through every patch. There's 11 different patches in your back office, but I'm going to go to Ice Wave per Melinda. So Ice Wave is drug-free pain relief. It's fast, it's safe. It's a positive and negative. So it's a white patch and a brown patch, and it literally disrupts the pain frequency in the body. It will not heal you. X39 is the patch that activates and regenerates those stem cells. So that's where you're going to feel like the real restoration happening. But let's say you want to get out of pain now and get that husband off the ibuprofen, throw on a set of Ice Wave. It's so effective. I have a medical doctor friend of mine that went to a Christmas party and his buddies were all giving him hell about this patch. He was an MD. And he said, come on over here. Let's patch you. Let's get you out of pain. 7 of his 8 MD friends got completely out of pain while he patched them, and they all signed up for the business that night. Little did they know that you could stop the pain frequency with a patch, right? Until their buddy, who had the courage to share, shared. So I always say, no matter how smart people are, they don't know what they don't know. So, it's safe, it's non-addictive, but that would be a good one to have on hand. It's a white on the right, tan on the left. The white is the positive side of the body. The left side of the body is generally the negative side of the body. So we do white right, tan left. You can put it on the top of your traps up here. You can put it on the top of your feet. The bottom of your feet is great. Chinese medicine, that's kidney 1. So you can put it in lots of different places on the body. There is a method called clock method, which Melinda, you can explain probably more in detail about that, or I can, but the clock method is really cool because you basically just put the brown patch on the point of pain. And so let's say it hurts right there. Okay, you put that brown patch on the point of pain, and the white patch, you're going to circle around. You don't even take the back of the sticker off the white when you do this. You just hold it at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, finding where that most pain relief is going to happen. So you hold it there, have them take a deep breath at 12 o'clock. That's about 1 to 2 inches above that brown. Then you do it 1 to 2 inches on, like, let's say right here, because the brown one would be right here. So you're going 1 to 2 inches around on a clock, 12, 3, 6, 9. You're going to hold it there for 30 seconds, and you won't have to ask them. People will literally tell you when you move that patch to the point where it's supposed to be. They're like, oh my gosh, how did you do that? How is my pain gone? It's like a magic trick. And then at that point, you would take off the back of the sticker and put it directly on that point. And then you just leave that Ice Wave on until, I always say, I leave it until it stops working. For some people, it's 12 hours, 18 hours. For some, it's even 24 hours. So it's not a patch that you have to take off after 12 hours. If you're still out of pain, keep that baby on. Don't worry about replacing it until it quits working. So I love Ice Wave. I'm kind of a big mom advocate because I've got 3 boys that have been athletes. And, my oldest was in the training room during crazy COVID, Division I athlete, never got any vaccines, of course, but he kind of saw it all. And NCAA is pretty wild about just giving 1,600 milligrams of ibuprofen for every acute injury. They're quite crazy about it. So they're literally giving kids handfuls of ibuprofen, and these kids are all developing intestinal problems and stomach problems and autoimmune problems, right? Because it's tearing apart their gut. And so, long story short, my son Bo, when he started the business, he had such a performance breakthrough. His migraine headaches went away, his feet healed up, and he broke every personal record he ever had. So much so that they came in and thought he was doping. They tested him 3 times in one semester because they thought he was doping. And of course, there's nothing to test with the patch because the only thing entering the body is light. So, like, I mean, what are you testing for, right? And so, bottom line is, just had a breakthrough college season that year. And how he started launching his business is he talked to his buddies that had the stomach aches, that were sick of taking the handfuls of ibuprofen, and said, "Hey, listen, I've got something that I think might help you get out of pain without the drugs." And that's literally how my 22-year-old, then he's now 25, started his Lifewave business, was talking to his buddies that did not want the drugs. So I'm kind of a crazy advocate for moms to put the Ice Wave in their health arsenal, right? Like, this should be in you're not your medicine cabinet. Throw that crap to the wind. It's like health arsenal, like pack your bags with light, right? And so, like, we've patched kids on the literally on the field, on the court at basketball games when they've rolled ankles and whatnot, and had immediate pain relief. And then, of course, all the parents are like, "What'd you do? How did that happen?" Right? So people just don't know what they don't know. And so we've got to be sharing the good news. We've got to share the light. Okay. So Ice Wave I'm pretty cranked about that one. Get that in there. And then, of course, the one that, of course, Melinda is talking about that all of you, I believe, should have your hands on. Let me get there. AccuLife is for horses, is Eon. And Eon is a great patch because most people don't realize when the body is in the fight or flight state, you will not heal. Period. They can drug you and drug you and drug you. You will not heal in that sympathetic state. The body has to relax and come back to rest and repair. And most doctors don't even know that. They won't tell you that. But how you know for certain that that's true is when you walk into an ER, there's no televisions on, there's no cell phones on, and everybody's whispering. And the reason they're doing that is they're trying to not let these people die, right? And so they're pulling their body from that fight or flight state back to that parasympathetic state where it can rest and repair. The Eon does that within 15 seconds of putting it on. So there's thermography images of what happens 15 seconds after putting the Eon on. So it really helps to mitigate that, like, stress response and give it a more balanced stress response. So it's not sitting over here in fight or flight, right? Cortisol, cortisol, cortisol. It literally kind of pulls back to that parasympathetic state, it's called. Within 15 seconds, you'll probably feel a full effects within 15 minutes. Okay. But I love that because a lot of people who've had chronic pain and chronic tightness and chronic whatever, they need the Eon, baby. They need the Eon. I always say it's like 2 hours of deep breathing with a yoga class in a patch, right? just put it on. And so it's really amazing. It's an amazing partner with X39. If you know anybody with anything autoimmune related, I've got hundreds of stories of autoimmune conditions. And again, I can't make medical claims. We can't claim to treat, cure, prevent disease, but I do get to see an awful lot of miracles with all autoimmune conditions. I could name them. There's a lot of them. You know what they are. But truth be told, the combination of Eon and X39, phenomenal for anything autoimmune related. So it's just chronic inflammation, right? So what we're doing is, I always say, if you go to your garage and your car is running full throttle, and you're supposed to change the oil, and you go to open the door of the car and there's a brick on the gas pedal, do you just open the hood and change the oil? No. What do? You take the brick off the gas pedal. You shut the car off, right? And so this is like pulling that body from that sympathetic back to that parasympathetic state. So that's Eon. So now we've got that inflammation under control. Now throw an X39 on that bad boy, right? So now you've got the Eon, kind of balancing that inflammatory response. You've got the X39. It can go to work at stimulating those stem cells. So that combination, you'll see pretty much miracle after miracle on. So does that help? Melinda?
Yes, thank you, because that is for sure why people are booking massage sessions. They're
Right.
pain relief, stress relief, chronic inflammation. And so I just wanted to share like some ideas for what I think would be easy. And just a little backstory, I actually was involved in another patch therapy called immunoneurofrequency therapy. I think it was in 2016. And it was different than Lifewave. It was a frequency patch therapy, but the idea was that the body will absorb a frequency when you put this patch on. My whole issue was that there were, I don't know, 50 or 60 different frequency patches. So you had to invest so much money to buy all these, different frequencies. And then there was 8 levels of training before you could feel like proficient to really get people results with these, 60 different frequency patches and investing in all these trainings. And it was just way too complicated. And
Right.
I'm like, I was so mad because I really loved the concept and I loved how simple it is to just put a sticker on somebody's body at the end of a massage. And even when I was trying to figure out some of it and I wasn't doing it properly because I was not going to do 8 levels of training, I still got some client results. And so like I got the feeling like, oh, this is so cool. I want this to work, but I'm totally going to give up on this because it's too expensive and it's too complicated. And I just want it to be more simple. I just don't have the bandwidth to go all the way down this weird rabbit hole. So when LifeWave came about, I was so happy that it was still the simple concept that you're still putting patches on people and it's stimulating a healing response, but it's more affordable and there's way less options to get the result that you need. So it's simple, it's easy, and I feel like what I would used to do is take an alcohol wipe at the end of the massage and wipe off some of the oil or the cream, and then I would put the patch there. So, like she said, X39 and Eon would be so easy, even if you're not trying to do anything specific with pain.
Right.
Everyone can benefit, and you can tell your client this is going to really at least extend the benefits of the massage. So, like for example, if you get a massage and you feel good for 5 days, these patches that I'm putting on your body can at least extend it several more days. And if it's just a one-time add-on, but if you want to explain to them like the magic in this is really if you're going to do it every day and then try to explain it as a modality that they would incorporate into their lifestyle so that they're getting a massage, but they're also boosting the benefits with this other therapy. And I think like Renia said before, like we don't want to think of this as it's one or the other. Kind of like when we add CBD salve to a massage, like it's not taking away from the massage, it's adding to the massage. And then if you sell the CBD salve to your client, then they can use it at home in between their sessions. This would be that, but like times a million probably, because it's like you already heard the science and the research, the FDA approval, the crazy testimonials. I mean, I've gone on YouTube and I'm not an early adopter. I will listen to multiple testimonials way before I get on board. And so I'm actually on board now. I'm kind of mad that I didn't get on board earlier, but that's okay. I have had friends that have incorporated it into their practice with success. So I really think it's kind of a no-brainer. If you're into light therapy, I'm already into frequency therapies and light and sound. Very complimentary in the massage space right now. It's very much on trend. I think massage therapists saw when cupping became popular because Michael Phelps showed up to the Olympics with cupping marks, and then like now cupping is a trend, even though it's ancient. And then,
Yeah.
the CBD kind of trend and the wave of that, and we all sort of jumped on the bandwagon and started incorporating that. But we're in this frequency light therapy trend right now, and it's amazing and it's cool and I love that there's no harmful side effects. You can't hurt people with this. It's not expensive. I've invested in frequency therapy tools that are several $1,000s. There's expensive, fancy biohacking frequency things that people think they have to get, like these big red lights or these PEMF mats, and they're cool and they're awesome, and I love those. But this is so simple and affordable. It's like, it's hard to say no to this, in my opinion. So,
Thank you
okay.
for that. I was like,
Yeah.
I should have had my phone out recording that. That was so good. Because I mean, seriously, massage therapists need to hear that. They need to know that they have another option, like you said, and it's not a takeaway; it's an add-on. It's an
Mhm.
addition. I always say, like when people say, "Well, when can I stop wearing the patches?" Well, I'm going to wear them until like forever. You know what I mean? I always say until Jesus comes back. But the truth be told is that most people can get rid of their bad habits and the stuff that they're spending money on that it's literally like causing them sickness in their lives, right? Let's get rid of some of those bad habits before we take away the good stuff. Because the good stuff, if we're health stacking, I call it health stacking, right? Like praise God, like we should all be health stacking and just getting healthier and better and stronger and more flexible and out of pain and more cognitive as we age. It doesn't have to be this degenerative thing like they've said, but you have to take ownership for that. So a good rule of thumb too, when people ask you, we do have a sheet that actually says day 1, day 7, day 14. So it is a bit of a tracking sheet. Sometimes people love that because what can be measured can be improved. So Sherry, if you want to make sure that she's got access to that tracking sheet, that's a good idea because people that way have some ownership when they take the patches and they start wearing them. They're like, okay, I'm gonna keep track of how I feel here, right? And so I think that's an important thing. And again, it just gives people some health ownership again. For so long, it was taken away and they were like going to their doctor to find out like what's wrong with them. And now it's like, you know what? Tell me how this makes you feel better. And it's a little bit of a mindset too. It gets you moving in that direction of seeking the positive, right?
Mhm.
Instead of always like seeking the negative, which is so common and commonplace in the health industry or not the health, but the medical industry.
Yeah.
So let's call it what it is. So anyway, yeah, thank you guys. You've been a blessing tonight. And know that I'm a resource for you. I know Sherry's a resource, Michelle's a resource. We're all a resource for you in this business. So if you decide you do want to share and do more, we'd love to help you as well.
Yeah, I guess final call for any questions. If you guys have some, throw them in comments. Otherwise, yeah, I'd love to keep maybe a continued conversation going if you guys want to join the Facebook group or you can DM me privately. So my Lifewave website, if you guys want to go to it, and I'll put it in chat, is just lifewave.com. And if you guys don't know, I have a thermography business. I'm also a thermographer. And so my website is Health Scan Thermography. And actually, I have big plans to do before and after images with Lifewave this
Oh, I've
year.
seen those, Melinda, and they are phenomenal. So I would totally do that. And let me just show everybody real quick if you're going to Melinda to join her team. By the way, she's an amazing team leader and is going to be such an asset to you and your business as you continue to grow and learn and share. But right here, lifewave.com/, health scan thermography. And you just go there and you hit the join button. That means you're joining Melinda's team. You're joining the team of light workers. Let's go. And like it says right there, you've selected Melinda Liu. I'm not a robot. Join now. And then you'll see those different packages that I showed you earlier. The core for $295. That comes with 3 sleeves of the X39. You could take one sleeve out and put a sleeve of Eon and a sleeve of Icewave in there. Melinda can help you with that if you're interested. And then, of course, the advanced, the larger patches are going to give you more patches for the least amount of money, right? So you're saving money with each of those kind of elevated wholesale packages. So that's definitely where you should begin. As soon as you get started with one of those at Melinda's website, you're going to immediately have your own website. So tomorrow you could go into your massage, appointments and say, hey, I've recently, coupled with this technology, it's activating your own stem cells with light. What do you know about stem cells? And again, you are the person that is sharing the light. You are the person that your clients and patients, in some cases, are going to for advice. So generally, the things that you share, they're going to want to implement. So I say share away and then prepared to be amazed by the miracles that happen on your team. So thank you. That really helped everybody right there so they can see how to sign up with you, Melinda. We want them on the right team.
Yeah. Thank you, Renita. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and your expertise and just sharing this incredible, journey of LifeWave. It really is cool. It's time and it is very complimentary for massage or really any wellness business. So it is a great opportunity. And again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. All right. Thanks, ladies. Have a good rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keep
Wonderful.
sharing the
Appreciate
light.
it, Renita.
Thank you, girls. God bless you. Take care.
Bye.